Which region of the United States would you consider its capital for economic growth and success? New York is home to the world's top financial center on Wall Street. The Gulf Coast is core to America's world-leading production of oil and gas, and California is an entertainment and technology goldmine. As massive windfalls flow out of these profit-stacking economic centers, with a third of all U.S. wealth being held in New York and California, while 472 of America's 760 billionaires live in just these four states, leaving huge portions of the nation to be forgotten, while a handful of U.S. cities and states get all the recognition for the labor, production, and persistence of an entire country. And yet there's this often overlooked region that's played and plays a crucial role in the American economy, its environmental future, and its latest manufacturing renaissance. The Great Lakes region, much like Main Street itself, isn't where you'll find the biggest, brightest cities, the most opulent industries, or those 1% views, though the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan might have you wonder why that is. No, stretching across portions of the Midwest, the Frost Belt, and the Rust Belt, the Great Lakes region is more of a middle-class region, flowing out of the largest freshwater lake system in the entire world, with portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, New York, and Pennsylvania, all bordering some portion of the 5 North American Great Lakes: Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario, making the Great Lakes region an anchor for America's highly advantageous maritime transportation network, with hundreds of thousands of jobs moving or swapping millions of tons of raw materials like coal, concrete, iron, steel, and grain along this entire area, where millions of Americans have earned a living wage, due in part to this being one of the last few relatively affordable places to purchase a home or build a more comfortable life. Spanning across nearly 100,000 square miles of the US and Canada, with about 34 million people and a fifth of the world's freshwater resources, with a culture based on hard work, community, family, nature, and opportunity, while generating more than 1.5 million jobs and having trillions in economic impact, through a unique foundation built on valuable shipping routes that span all 5 lakes, with cargo transportation, raw materials, and manufacturing having a notable region-wide influence. But if we zoom in on the city of Detroit, sitting along the Detroit River, located at the confluence of Lake Erie and Lake Huron, you'd see a city on the rise after decades of painful decline. A common thread throughout the Great Lakes region at that time, as America's manufacturing boom collapsed, pushing millions of residents south and southwest as the American economy transitioned from product innovation and manufacturing to consumerism, capital investment, and coding almost overnight.
For a real Carmageddon, urban experts have long looked to the car industry's hometown of Detroit. The city has lost more than half of its population since 1950, leaving whole neighborhoods virtually abandoned.
It is sadly familiar. Detroit as the ramshackle wreck, a place of decline, decay, and desolation. It's a tough image to shake, but come closer and listen. The motor in Motown is humming.
For the millions of residents and thousands of businesses that stayed, the Great Lakes region remained home. Millions of people that refused to just sit back and watch their home disappear. That's how we got the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement of 1972 and the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative of 2009, along with manufacturing innovations that supported the economics of Made in America and new incentives capable of attracting major investments in modern technology, leaving us with a Great Lakes region that's arguably better than ever before, a comeback story worthy of a video on its very own. All of these cities have become major targets for moving families and businesses due to their sprawling nature, successful revitalization, and major economic opportunities, while these areas around them have become highly sought after for their valuable proximity, improved institutions, safety, and cleanliness. With the city of Detroit growing in population for the first time in more than 50 years in 2023, as a region-wide investment in modern amenities, shopping, and entertainment, along with other key investments in infrastructure, cost of living considerations, and startup incubation efforts, has resulted in billions of dollars from major companies flooding into the Great Lakes region.
And looking towards some of those big national events coming to the city, like the NFL Draft in '24 and moving the Grand Prix to downtown. So a lot going on, and that forward momentum still going.
It's been a difficult past few years, but certainly it seems like we're on the right track finally.
With the region now having a delicate balance of modern luxuries, historic fixtures, and abundant nature, with all four seasons, the nation's second tallest skyline in Chicago, several professional sports teams, major attractions, and city beaches in places like Chicago, Detroit, and Milwaukee that would have you thinking you're in a tropical paradise, not the nation's manufacturing core near the Canadian border.